Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Osiris J, and welcome to the Fire Your Boss podcast. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to have you guys, check out any content that I am publishing. We're a new podcast, and there is a lot of great content out there on the web. And let's just face it, there's also a lot of shitty content. Let's just be honest about it. And so, the fact that you guys, if you haven't already registered, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscription button and go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. And the fact that you guys would even take the time to watch and support the channel, if you guys are catching this on YouTube, it really means a lot to me. And I wanna just let you guys know that I appreciate you. Now, in this episode, I'm going to talk. I'm going to be speaking to you guys to really give you a sense of this one thing, this one critically important thing that if you're not already doing it, I'm going to ask you to stop everything that you're doing and to start doing it right now. And this one thing is the fact that I'm going to be speaking to you about how to go about making yourself a person of value in the marketplace and in your life. Right? Not just in the marketplace, but in the marketplace and in your life. And guys, the reason why I'm having this conversation is because it's like, first of all, like I'm making this video because it's part of my a 30-day challenge to make 30 videos every single day of the month, right? I am working on perfecting my skill because I want to win a championship at this podcasting game. I really want to win a championship at this podcasting game, and on this channel, this channel is really for the makers, the movers, the shakers, the creators, the entrepreneurs, the individuals who simply don't accept defeat. They find a way to adapt. They find a way to innovate. They never surrender. They never give up. Because we know we can't, we don't have a choice. So that's the tribe that we're building on this platform. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have you guys check this out. And, so this one thing, that everyone should be doing, if you're not already doing, is you got to be making yourself a person of value in your life and a person of value in the marketplace. And look, this is exactly what I'm doing right now. It's one of the reasons why I'm talking to you guys about this topic, and it's all about what this podcast is about. It's a really humbling experience to find yourself and to see yourself in the midst of like reinventing and changing your life, right? And that's really at the center of what it takes, to become a person of value in your life and in the marketplace. Because let's face it, the marketplace has changed, and we're going to get into a little bit of that later on. And not only that, but, when you think about the fact that we are, we're a little bit beyond 2 years of coming out of the pandemic, beyond the pandemic. I'm not sure if we're still in the pandemic. Every once in a while you hear, in the media, cases are going up, whatever the case may be, but people aren't wearing masks anymore at the rate that we used to. We're not locked in the house, right? So for all intents and purposes, a lot of the restrictions that was put in place that, for the last couple of years, that really kind of like snatched a lot from everyone, right? Like, for some strange, odd reason, it just really impacted, us in this incredible way, in the fact, in the sense that we were sent home. We were all sent home. And guys, if you didn't use that time wisely, then shame on you. If you didn't use that time to kind of reflect, if you didn't use that time to to understand yourself more effectively and deeper, if you didn't use that time to draw nearer to your creator and really like develop new habits and learn new skills, then really shame on you, because that's what the entire game is about. Albert Einstein, right? The famed genius, inventor, and just all around great mind. He points out that you should try not to become a man of success. Now, I'm going to degendify this. Don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to try. I'm going to degendify this. So, try not to become a person of success. but rather try to become a person of value, right? And if you're going to become a person of value, if you're going to become more valuable, to yourself and to the marketplace, then there's a few things that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to, you're going to have to stop. And one of the interesting things about the last couple of years was that it gave us an opportunity to stop and to reassess yourself, your environment, the people in your life in that environment, the things that you're doing, how you're spending your time, and what do you truly desire in life? Like, what do you want? Like, really? And I'm not talking about, the mask that you wear for the critics. Or I'm not talking about the fact that, like, we were all told to, go to school, get an education, and like just, plan A. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about who are you really inside? What do you want? What do you want to share with the world? What do you have to add to the world? And when you can begin to ask and answer those questions to yourself satisfactory in a way that's satisfactory, that's satisfactory to you, right? Then you're at the beginning of power and freedom and full self-expression in your life. That's what allows you to become more valuable, because that's where it starts. You got to know who you are. So, I wanted to find the word value for a second. And any quick Google search, you will find the definition of the word, right? And it's a noun, the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. You can even throw in there someone. Number two, a person, principles of or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life, right? So value, so the judgment, the value that's placed on something. Someone is judging you, judging, the work that you're doing, the conversation that you're having, the clothes that you're wearing, how you're speaking, and all of that. We're always at the effect of judgment or judging, right? And the truth of the matter is, like, I try not to engage in that too much, right? It's kind of hard, because it's like when you are podcasting, and this is one of the things that I'm kind of discovering about this process, right? Like, you're looking for things to kind of like have interesting conversations about. Like, I've been, like, I would say in the last few months, I've listened to and watched more podcasts than I probably should have. Actually, no. Market research, you got to research your market, right? So value, right? Like, so let me the verb now is estimate the monetary worth of something. So the value that's being placed on your life, like, what are you contributing? So in other words, like, you get up every day and you go to work, right? And you get a salary, right? And based on that salary, based on the value that you add to the chain, to to that company, right? You're getting paid based on that, right? So the person who's getting minimum wage versus the person who is making $150,000 a year versus the person who's making $1 million a year, the person who's making 50 million a year. Like, all of those things are all different scales of value based on the impact and the value that you're adding to the marketplace, right? And the person who's also happy and have this amazing life, right? That's also a scale, right? And that's also based on the value that you're adding to the people around you, right? The second verb is consider someone or something to be important or beneficial, have a high opinion of. So again, an opinion, the value, the scale, that all of that, right? And you know, and I wanted to read the definition because it's important. Like I think a lot of times, we are really just dealing on the surface of a lot of things in our lives, and we can't do that anymore, right? Like, yeah, I mean, you can. It's absolutely your choice. But I think that if you're committed to, really playing and winning a championship in your life, and again, I'm using game theory here, and I got to figure out a way to kind of like use the game theory, but in a way to let females know that one, I'm a male, and two, I love sports, and three, I'm not trying to exclude anyone. But I'm using a lot of these game theories that's very male and driven, and but they work for me. But at the same time, I don't want to miss that female market because I know how important that is. So so if you guys are having if you don't watch sports and you're not, this isn't connecting with you, the idea of winning a championship in your life, I'm going to replace that with become the best version of yourself. Right? How do you distinguish yourself in life? Because a champion is a distinction, right? And a champion, is the highest, really represents the most valuable individual in that distinction or in that sport, in that field, right? So we're not talking about playing a sport. We're literally talking about the game of life. And how do you become more valuable to your life? How do you become more valuable to the marketplace, right? And I chose this particular image because I think it's dope. Like one of the big things that I got out of the pandemic, is the fact that I really learned to kind of like master. Let me rephrase that. I learned how to master my practice of meditation. Right now, notice that I didn't say master meditation because I don't even know if that's possible. But my practice of it, right? My structuring myself, my understanding why, and the importance of taking time out to center yourself and to get still, to become nothing, no one, from nowhere, no time, empty, effortless, formless, imperishable, or the non-imperishable, like conscious, right? Or just be in touch with your breath, the process of meditation. Like, I feel like, for this topic and becoming a person of value in your life, it really starts with getting in touch with who you truly are. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know the divine aspect of yourself as a human being? Do you understand that you're this two, and there's both the physical person that you see, that you are, that makes up who you are, and then there's the spiritual individual, that part of us, right? And we spend the vast majority of our time is spent obsessing and focusing on what's happening in the physical realm. Guys, I know you guys know this. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. And we're not spending enough time, being quiet, being formless, being empty, being nothing, like listening, like getting in touch with that higher self and that multi-dimensional spiritual aspect of who we are as human beings. We're not doing that. Right? And as a result of not doing that our experience in the present moment in the physical realm is diminished. That's one of the things that I got from the the pandemic. I that became very clear to me. It's no longer something that, oh, I read it in this book. They said it in the Bible that you're supposed to pray and meditate. Or I watched this cool video on mindfulness. Now I'm talking to you guys about what I actually did. And it's one of the reasons why I'm here having this conversation about this subject on this podcast right now, because, not only has the marketplaces changed, you must change. And I had to change. And I think, the Fire Your Boss podcast is really about the process of firing your boss and becoming a person of value in your life and in the marketplace, and not allowing anything to kind of like limit you and stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. So essentially, it is on the process of success. It is about winning your championship in life. But to do that, you have to become the life athlete that trains yourself, that eats the right way, sleeps the right way, think the right way, and kind of like live the right way. And it doesn't matter where you are, right? You could be locked up in prison right now, but you can start that process right now. You could be 500 pounds overweight. You can start that process right now. You could be behind in your hopes and your aspirations. You could have like $0 in the bank. You could be, unemployed or, underemployed. You could have a company that's like in bankruptcy right now, headed to bankruptcy. There's all this conversation about the inflation that's heading into the marketplace. You could be completely crippled by that concern, and you don't know what it is that you're going to do and where you're going to go. But you can start right here. And I would highly recommend that you start right here inside of the process of really being still and listening to the other aspect of yourself, the higher aspect of yourself that wants to intervene in your life and that wants to provide that guidance and really give you the hope and the energy that you need to move on and to really win your championship in life. It starts here. This is how you become more valuable in your life. You understand yourself on a deeper level. That's how you become more valuable. Now, I know that you guys might already know this. You might already know that there are millions and millions of people who've already fired their boss, they've quit their jobs, and they're making a sustainable living online. They're doing a variety of different things. They're involved in e-commerce. They're selling stuff, right? They're making content. Right? They're YouTubers or, podcast producers. Some of them have seemingly emerged out of nowhere, right? I love, and it's like, I respect people who are committed and winning in life. And what I mean by that is, I mean, the people who are playing for a championship in their lives and they're committed to that process. Because it takes something to do that. It takes something to kind of like take your life and to be 100% responsible for your life and the results in it, and to say that you are the creator and you're going to go out and create something. It takes something to do that. The process of doing that is decisive. It is the greatest training and development process that you can ever, an experience that you can ever hope to have in your life, right? And that's why I respect those individuals, because they're not interested in being ordinary, right? The Great Resignation has already started, also known as the Big Quit. It's already started. According to Microsoft 2021 Work Trend Index, more than 40% of the global workforce considered quitting their job in 2021, right? So something is up. And yes, this is being driven by the pandemic. This is being driven by, what we've experienced in the last, what we've experienced in the last a couple of years. Right? But there's a reason why people are making those considerations at the rate that they're making those considerations, right? And according to Forbes.com, by 2027, 50% of the US workforce will be working as freelancers, consultants, or micro entrepreneurs. or independent entrepreneurs. The 21st century economy will be the economy of the entrepreneurial generation. And guys, there's an infrastructure that's built to support that. The infrastructure is there. It was there before the pandemic. The pandemic didn't create it, it revealed it. It revealed it. So the idea of personal leadership, the importance of commitment, all of those things are all of a sudden, right, the new currency. You got to pay attention to those things. Attention is the currency, but what are you paying attention to? So I say, and this is just what I'm saying, if you have a great, and if you're in a great situation where you have, the employment that you're looking for and things are working for you in life, you shouldn't quit your job. Not in this environment. If you're happy, you're getting paid a rate that allows you to live and enjoy your life. If you're doing something that that you love to do and that's give you a sense of service and contribution, right? If that's what you're doing, I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should quit your job. But if that's not happening, there's just never been a better time to fire your boss and to create one high-paying job for yourself. This is the moment to do that. But if you're gonna do that, you can't just up and do it without thinking about the consequences and the impact and what it's going to take to actually make that happen. Because millions of people did consider all of those things, and a lot of people did participate in the big quit, and they didn't really think it through. They just got up one day and said that I'm going to quit my job, and they did, right? And they didn't have a plan. Right. And so if you guys find yourself there and you quit your job, you didn't have a plan, or you're thinking about quitting your job, and you don't have a plan, or maybe you do have a plan, or maybe you've done that and you started a company and you're a little bit behind your hopes and your aspirations. Sales aren't coming coming in the way that you thought that they would come in, or maybe you already had a company and you've been growing that company, right? That if you find yourself in any of those places, I want you to kind of like check out our course. We have a course called Fire Your Boss, right? And we also have a new platform that's in beta. And if you guys listen to this podcast for the entirety, at the end of the podcast, there's a link that's in the description. I'm gonna, you guys will get a free trial of that platform, the beta version. You just click the link and schedule a one-on-one with either myself or one of my teammates, where we're gonna literally talk to you guys about how you can really like fire your boss and create one high-paying job for yourself, but not just talk. Like we're gonna help you guys like grow your business, give you the sales and marketing support that you need to bring in new clients. Hell, we'll even help you bring in those new clients. We'll bring them in for you, right? As long as you know what it is that you're doing, and you have a product and service that that you believe in, that's in demand, that the marketplace want, and that they're gonna be willing to pay you for, right? And so we will give you a free trial for those of you guys who stick around, right? So I'm checking. I'm literally recording this on Zoom right now. When I decided I was going to take on the 30-day challenge, making a video a day, I put the Sony VZ10 down. Great camera, love it, but I'm just not a videographer, and I'm never gonna be. And at the same time, that's one of the skills that I'm going to have to learn to, I don't need to master it. I need to know enough to be dangerous, right? Or even just produce a video that's not on Zoom, that's going to be in high def, right? So guys, I am shooting this on Zoom, so I want you guys to forgive the quality of it. As we grow the podcast and we get better, we'll provide and we'll create better content and clearer content. Right? At least that's the plan, right? But for right now, this is the best we got, right? And I'm going to go with it until I can become more proficient at using my Sony VZ10 camera, right? Now, where are we going next, right? So you got to make yourself, a person of value in the marketplace like that, and things have shifted, and it does start with, understanding yourself on that deeper level, right? And it starts with really, after you understand yourself on that deeper level, you got to have some sense and understanding and appreciation of where we are right now, right? The fact that the marketplace has changed, and that there is a coming economic tsunami. There's a coming economic tsunami that's threatening to wipe us out, right? And there's this business term called the strategic inflection point. Now, a strategic inflection point is a point in the enterprise, a time period in the enterprise, in the life of an enterprise, where the fundamentals have changed, where everything in the marketplace is kind of like shifted. Now, the companies that don't understand what's happening, they don't have an early warning system. They're like, so years ago there was this company, before there were Netflix, there was this company called Blockbusters, right? And Blockbusters, they kind of like had a stranglehold on the video rental DVD rental market, right? They started with videos, and then they went into DVDs, and everybody used Blockbuster. They were like, I don't even know if was there another company that was doing that? Don't even know. That's how big they were, and how much control of the market that they had, right? And they were just really, sitting fat on the hog, like eating like crazy. They didn't feel like, change was going to come and like take them out the game. And then the internet became a thing, and people started streaming, and all of a sudden their customers started dwindling. You would think at that point they would have said to themselves, something is happening here, right? But you know what? Like this dude standing in the middle of the ocean on the top of a rock or a mountain, whatever that is, with his briefcase, like they were fucked. People don't even know who they are anymore. You ask the average millennial or even Gen Xer, they're like, what? What's that? Blockbuster? Isn't that like one of those new games? Roadblocks? No, right? Look, the idea is the only thing that we can be certain of, guys, the only thing that we can be certain of is change. Change is the most enduring realities of in all of our lives. I'm changing right now. My cells are changing. My skin is changing. My brain is changing. It's kind of hot in here. I'm sweating. I'm shedding skin. We're always changing. It is the one thing that we can be certain of. And the marketplace has changed. My question to you is, what are you doing to change? Who are you relative to this new reality, to this new paradigm that we're in? There's this interesting book out there. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? I forget the author, but the book, I don't know, my lighting is really bad right now, guys. So just bear with me. Just to sum up the book, right? Like the book is basically about two mice. They're partners in this cheese empire. I know, two mice being a partner in the cheese empire. You'd think one would like cannibalize the other one and kind of like just run the show himself, right? But they have this partnership, and they're like, they've built this massive cheese empire that they ran out of train station B. One morning, upon like going down to train station B, just kind of like survey the cheese empire, they noticed that it was all gone. Something had happened, change had set in, and all of their cheese was gone. One mice, let's call him Bill and Lenny. Bill said, I don't care what's happening. I'm gonna sit right here and wait for them to bring my cheese back. Lenny said, to hell with that. I'm gonna go find me some new cheese. Lenny set off to scour the entire subway system. And guys, if you live in and around New York and you've been on those New York City subway system, you know that there can be some, it's interesting down there. Not every step, not every station, but it's quite interesting. So anyway, as Lenny is scouring the subway station in search of his cheese, he had to go out on that quest, and he had to deal with the challenges that came along with that. But ultimately, upon finding himself near starvation and dehydration, when he came up on train station Z, he encountered the largest, the biggest, the most beautiful pile of golden cheese that he had ever seen in his life. And never imagined that a cheese pile would be so big. He immediately jumped in and ate until his heart content. And then he said, "Oh, Bill." And he remembered that his boy was stuck at train station B, still waiting for the cheese to come back. He gathered up some cheese and ran back to help his boy. And when he got there, he found Bill on the verge of death and starvation. And had he not shown up to help Bill, Bill would have died. The point is, the lesson is, right? The moral of the story is, the marketplace has changed. There is an economic tsunami coming. Who are you going to be? You must change as a result of that. But what are you changing into? What are you changing into? And how well do you understand the realities of what's happening in the marketplace right now? For example, this guy, if that wasn't a briefcase, if he had a cell phone and a laptop, and he understood that they're just not these devices to, to hook up or to gossip or to front on, to kind of like gloat. I'm in Dubai right now, chilling. Okay, you're in Dubai. Right? Great. I'm happy for you. Right? I'm sitting at this restaurant. This is what I'm about to eat. Okay, got it. Right? I mean, look, there are influencers out there. Big up to the influencers and all the folks out there who are finding something useful to do with their cell phones and the internet, right? Because if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? If you're not doing that, then you're literally wasting the most precious thing that you have, right? If you're not doing that, you're wasting time. And by virtue of you wasting time, you're literally wasting money. Time equals money. Money equals time. Time and money. Why do you want to continue to waste your time and waste your money? Why would anybody want to do that? But that's what we're doing. That's exactly what it is that we're doing. Right? Like, okay, I love Kanye West. I love his music. And and when I say I love Kanye West, it's not that I'm like I'm that crazy about Kanye's music, though I like Kanye's music, right? What I love about Kanye West is that the dude is daring, man. Like he is daring to be great. You got to love that about Kanye, right? He's daring to be great, right? He gets it. Kanye understands that you don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace, right? He understands that you don't get a happy life because just for living. You get a happy life based on the value that you add to your life and to the people in your life. How are you serving? He's like, I'm an artist. I remember, watching this episode, this interview on Kanye with Kanye, where he was talking about becoming a fashion icon. This was way before, he literally became a fashion icon, right? He had so much certainty in his voice, like a ridiculous amount of like certainty in his voice, right? And and as I'm listening to Kanye, I realized that he was very, very serious, that he wasn't kidding. He literally understood his value and his sense of self-worth, right? He understands that. He understood that, right? And you know, you gotta get clear on your value and your sense of self-worth, right? You have to, because if you don't get clear on that, then you're gonna end up wasting your time and wasting you know, you're gonna end up wasting your time and wasting your money because you're not valuing yourself enough. You're not valuing yourself enough to, to really, learn new skills and really put yourself in a position to become a person of value in the marketplace and in your life. You're just not doing that, right? And you have to do that. You have to find a way to believe in yourself and believe in your abilities to achieve your goals and to pursue your championship and not just pursue it, but to win it and achieve your goals, right? Because the marketplace has shifted. And you have to decide, who are you going to become in this moment? Like, who are you? What are you right now in this moment? Who are you? How did you spend the last couple of years? What are you getting good at? What are you learning? Like, I'm learning how to podcast. I mean, this is hard stuff, man. Like, I got to tell you guys, creating a podcast and being consistent is hard. But it's one of the things that I've kind of like discovered about myself, because it's like, I love sharing with people. I love contributing in this way. And so because of that love, I am willing to put in the necessary requisite amount of time and energy. Like, look at me, like, focused on enunciating my words. I'm just not trying to run my mouth. I want to be heard. And I understand that in order to be heard, you got to have something that people are going to want to hear. You got to have something valuable to add, right? And if you don't have anything valuable to add to the conversation, right, then why should anybody give a damn? Why should anyone care? Right? I was just listening to this interview here with Jay-Z and Kevin Hart on Kevin Hart show, Heart to Heart, and just really love the interview. Every time I love earlier I talked about the fact that I love watching champions. I love watching people who kind of like embody the distinction of a champion and of like the best version of themselves, right? And even as I say that, I'm also hyper aware that as we watch celebrities and as we watch people who are in the public eyes, as we pay attention to their success and their accomplishments, right? I'm not even sure if Jay-Z considered this the best version of himself, or even Kevin Hart. I'm not sure. I remember seeing an interview with Jay-Z years ago on Charlie Rose. You guys should look that up. Great interview where he's Charlie Rose is interviewing Jay-Z, and Charlie Rose asked him, like, so like, what's next for you, Jay? And Jay-Z goes, well, well, Charlie, I might decide to kind of like, buy Viacom, right? and he had this real serious look on his face. And Charlie Rhodes, the camera cuts to Charlie Rhodes' face, and Charlie Rhodes he kind of paused, and he was like, well, that would make you my. And Jay laughs and said, yeah, your boss. And it seemed like he was playing, but like listening to Jay, that there was probably dead serious about it, right? Like, he's positioned himself where if that's what he wanted right now, he probably could do that, right? Kevin Hart, same thing with Kevin Hart. You're talking about someone who went to make themselves a person of value in the marketplace and a person of value in their lives, right? One of Kevin's superpower is the fact that he has such a massive social media follower as a trendsetter, an influencer. He's just not a celebrity that's racking up followers. He's actually providing the content that folks need that goes beyond the films and the comedy specials, right? He's literally engaged, which makes him probably one of the more influential people in Hollywood, right? Like, and I don't even like Kevin Hart movies. I love the guy. I love his success. I root for him. I cheer for him, right? But the point that I'm trying to make, you just want to notice who these people are. And you got to ask yourself, why should anybody give a damn about what I'm doing to the point that where they're going to be willing to pay me for it? Have you made yourself more valuable in your life and more valuable in the marketplace? Are you a buyer or a seller? Are you just caught up in consuming and getting the new, the freshest and the coolest, just dressing up the outside without considering who you truly are and how you serve and whether or not you can add value to your life and add value to the marketplace? Can you produce a product or service that people would be willing to pay you for? Can you do something that people would pay so much attention to that that the money would just come rolling in? Or are you just focused on consuming? Or can you produce something? Can you use the gifts, the talents, your imagination? Have you developed that? And are you developing it? And do you even want to develop it? Right? And that's a huge part of what the Fire Your Boss course is about, by the way, right? Like, how do you do that? How do you transform how do you shift from being this buyer to becoming this seller? How do I produce a product or service that people are going to want to buy, that the marketplace are going to needs, and it's in demand and they're willing to pay you for? And how do I get it to market? And how do I sell it? And who do I need to become? Right? What do I need to do? The course asks and tries to answer all of those questions. And you guys could check that out. The link is in the description, where you can actually get a preview to the course and to all of that, right? And so this is why I'm doing this. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I came across a study, right? Which said by 2027, 50% of the U.S. workforce will be considered freelancers, consultants, or independent entrepreneurs. I stated this before, but I wanted to show you guys this graph, right? Where it said by that time, 86.5 million, right? People that represents the workforce, that part of the workforce will be freelancers, 1099s, consultants, brokers, solopreneurs, versus the non-freelancers at 83.4 million. Something is happening, guys. The marketplace has changed, therefore you guys must change, right? As I said earlier, for any of you guys who stayed and watched this to the full duration, go ahead and click the link in the description below, and I will make sure that if you guys want to take the next step and gain access to the free trial of our new platform, you'll get that free trial. If you want to check out our go ahead and check out check out our course, the Fire Your Boss course, you have that opportunity to do that. And let me tell you guys a little bit about the platform that before we go. This is the backdrop of the the platform itself. I just changed my background. So really what it is, it's the platform is an on-demand social selling and marketing as a service platform. It's at the intersection of where Salesforce meets Uber, right? But the long and the short end of it is, if you're building a business, if you have a product or service, if you have anything that you're trying to sell, that you're trying to market, and you need to be able to generate leads, schedule appointments, or even sell it, the platform kind of like does that for you on demand. It provides the software along with the the virtual assistants, the sales teams and the marketing teams, and to really get that done for you. But it's inside the context of a platform. Really, really excited about it. Lots of time, lots of energy, lots of money, right? To really develop it.